Oh, I'm so glad that you joined us. I'd like to welcome our guests. We're here for Moksha Canada Foundation, the Spotlight on Community, and new program initiative through Moksha Canada. We're here because of you, and we want to thank you for that. And we're able to connect our community, participate, and create ideas and share knowledge. And that's really what we're about. We're about it stepping outside the box, as I spoke with one of our guests previously about that. Really stepping outside the box is what it's all about, and shining light on the collective community. Welcome to you, Spotlight on Community, and our guest, Carine. I'll have her introduce herself in a moment, and Guru, who is also here to join us and will introduce himself. Excited. Thank you for joining us, Carine and Guru.
Thank you
for having us.
Thank you. Thank you. And a little bit about Moksha Canada Foundation. If you have an idea for a show, please reach out to us on social media before we begin this program today. We are looking for ideas, and we're always looking for change. So feel free, if you'd like to get involved, hit the Get Involved button and let us know what you're interested in. We'd like to connect you to the community. So we have a couple of guests, and we're talking about healthy living and the art of parenting. We're in different times now, and we're going to kind of start out by sort of what's happening right now in our world, but I'll have Guru introduce himself first, please and thank you, and maybe just tell our guests who you are and a little bit about your background, and then I'll jump in with Carine. Thank you. So I'm going to have you introduce yourself, and you can tell our guests who you are with your 49 years of experience, or many years of experience, and let us know about your background in terms of homeopathy.
Yeah, as you said, many years. This is right, because I learned so many things from my grandfather and my father, who were dealing with the medicine and all that. And myself, as you can say, officially, I started in 72 after graduating from Nehru Homeopathic Medical College, New Delhi, which is under the Delhi University. And then I got the opportunity to serve as a principal in Abohor Medical College, which particularly that college was started in 1976. And I was the first principal, and all over the India, I was the youngest person.
Really? Guru.
Got that position. And kept on practicing and all that. And as things are improving. At that time, we had the only graduation program, but there was no post-graduation program. So I did my post-graduation program in 2016. From
2016?
Yes, after university.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
So you see like that. And then as I moved to here, because there was a college school of Ottawa School of Homeopathy. There I came as a teaching outside teacher, you can say the visiting professor in 1999. And as my children, they were studying in America. So then we decided to be here. I got the opportunity to be here as a PR, and then I am a citizen. And for the last more than 20 years, I am here.
You know, the skills.
And as at that time, homeopathy was not regulated in Ontario. So I and with the other colleagues, we struggled to get it regulated. And in 2009, it was regulated, and then registration was done on 2015. And I am a member of College of Homeopath also in Ontario.
Okay. Yes, and that's why Carine and you complement each other actually in the fields that you're working in.
Yes. I am running some charitable dispensaries also in Brampton area.
Oh, pardon me. Sorry, I'm just getting a little muffle on the sound. It's sorry about that.
In Brampton, I am running homeopathic charitable dispensaries also in temples and in gurdwaras.
Wow, that's incredible, and that's why we're here today, because you're
apart from my own private practice. So there on alternate weekend, I serve the community, because we must give what we have got from the community and something to back to them also.
You know, and I think that's really, wouldn't you say the profession kind of speaks to that?
Yes.
Yes, I was thinking the homeopathic profession,
yes.
Humanitarian side of things.
Yes, yes, humanitarian.
Yeah, that deep connection with people. Do you mind if I take a moment just to introduce Carine, or have Carine introduce herself to jump into our conversation?
Yes, yes.
And we can kind of flow as well.
Right.
Thank you so much. That's awesome. So that sets the tone for our guests. We're talking about healthy parenting, healthy living, and the art of parenting as well. So our guests are complementing each other. Carine, could you introduce who you are and what your background is?
So I'm an intuitive life coach, healer, an energy healer, and a yoga teacher and an inspirational speaker. And I help highly sensitive people. I work specifically with people who are sensitive or who qualify themselves as empaths, who are very empathic, to really break free of their inner subconscious blocks. So I work a lot on the subconscious level and the mind and do belief work, helping them clear those blocks and getting them unstuck so that they can really activate their confidence, really step into their power and their authentic selves, and really awaken your magic. So my program is all about awakening your own gifts and your own wisdom and your own abilities to heal yourself through mindset and belief work and through energy work. And I'm also a mom of 2 kids. So I have a 10-year-old daughter, and a 5-year-old little boy. So all of this parenting stuff for me, it's like everything I do in my professional life, it really washes into my personal life of how I raise my children, how I work with them and their mindset and emotional balance, and doing all the mindfulness work and the meditation and the yoga. I really want them to grow up with that so that they don't have to struggle the way I did growing up. So that's kind of my vision for the way I raise my children is lead by example so that they don't struggle the way I did growing up with my emotions and with my mindset and the beliefs that I grew up with. So that's kind of my passion. So I love this topic and I'm excited to contribute to it.
Me too. No, I love this topic too. It's the connection to life right there. You both are complementing each other as well. And if I could jump over to Guru for a moment. Guru, how has it changed then? Let's just say, what is, firstly, perhaps we can just define what homeopathy is, and how has that changed maybe from when you first started? And then we can maybe loop in Carine in the conversation. So what is it for anyone who's not familiar with it, and how has that changed?
Homeopathic science, medical science is a very new science, I will say, because it is just 250 years old. And the originator was from German, Dr. Samuel Hahnemann. He invented this homeopathy. It is not that he just invented, because there was an idea since the start of the treatment, you can say that from the time of Hippocrates. In this homeopathy, we treat on the basis of similarities. Similia similibus curantur. That means disease product which can cause a disease can treat the disease when it is given in a very minute form. And it's all, you can say, the side effects are taken away, as it is the first step, as this is with the vaccine also. So vaccine is the basic thing which homeopathy has, particularly this idea of vaccination was originated from the homeopathic medicine. And in homeopathic medicines, we generally treat the patient with their symptoms and symptomatology, whatever they are. And once it is treated with the homeopathic, it is, we can say that it cures the disease. It not only control, there are, because in the disease we have different forms of diseases, which are we consider as acute, subacute, and chronic. And in the chronic also there is some disease which are irreversible, which cannot be, yes, you can just give some palliation.
Yes, for example, just curious for anyone who's not aware and is learning it for the very first time, what kind of things? Just curious.
Like autoimmune diseases.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Osteoarthritis, the aging effect, and then even the cancer also, when it is in the last stage or in the third stage.
Thank you.
At time of the and even when people are very old, because old age itself is a disease, because there is a quite deterioration in the cells, and their new formation of cells is there is no growth. One has to pass through that life.
Yes, yeah.
So medical assistance is to calm their sufferings.
I see, yeah.
So that whatever the life is there, they should have that quality of life. It should be pain free. So that's why that we at that time we just control it. But otherwise, like other acute diseases, because I generally say the acute diseases are like a highway.
Hybrid?
Yeah, they come suddenly, they come with a force, and when treated, it will be treated permanently. If it is not treated, person may go into the fatal stage.
Yeah. What would be, do you mind if
And the
I
chronic diseases are like traveling in a city where there are signals. So there you develop slowly the diseases, as I said, aging purposes.
yeah. Could you
As a
speak?
child born, then he has uh, some problems when he has to get teething, and before teething, they want to settle their life as a, I can say, the holding of the neck, seeing all what is going on. They try to listen. They try to start understanding words. These are the basic factors, or you can say the steps by step. As child first start holding his neck, then he start to roll up, then he starts to sitting, and then in the teething problem at that time, because there is some inflammatory process going on with the gums and all that, then the children generally get the diarrhea, and sometimes they become very irritable.
Yes.
So the milestone, then they start walking and all that, they fall and they get some type of traumas. And in particularly, I will say in homeopathy, we have some medicines which are very good to treat such problems with the children at the initial stage, like the teething problem, to control their anger also, to control that eruption when there is inflammation. Homeopathic medicines, they help to get the teething without problem.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Can we speak of the inflammation and sort of the aspect of the base of homeopathy? Is that you're trying to eliminate inflamed things? Is that what?
Inflammation, any swelling,
Yes, yes.
because when there is swelling or inflammation, that is a body own reaction. And that reaction is for the healing purpose.
Yeah.
Body crying that I am in trouble and come and help me.
Yeah, that's perfect. I love the way you said that. Come and help me. It's inflamed. You know?
Yes.
Yes, pay attention kind of thing.
Yes. To get the attention.
Yeah.
So there is redness, there is heat and fever. These are the three things: redness, heat, and fever, and pain.
And why do you think we don't follow those signals? Is it training in many cultures? Yes, this is followed homeopathy, but why are we not attuned to that? Listening to our instincts, following those signals in our body. Why we get caught up in life? Is that just it, or why is that?
One of the things is that, particularly as you're saying that why homeopathy is not listened, there is lack of, I will say, the promotion in homeopathy.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
We, generally, government of any country, they are not promoting homeopathy. There is a great lobby of the allopathic medicines, because they are, you can say, they're centuries old. And this is a new, it is a child. I generally say to my colleagues that we are a child, like we have started just crawling. As now, most of the world know about homeopathy, and particularly in this COVID, there was a lot of news and hue and cries about homeopathy also.
Yeah.
And particularly in South Asia, this homeopathic is very popular, like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and here in Brazil, Mexico, homeopathy is very, and even the Portugal, and now in the Europe also, because it started from the Europe, in the French and Netherlands, Switzerland, homeopathy is picking up.
Mhm, mhm.
People are now understanding.
Yeah, so it's really only been around for about 250 years then? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
So we're just educating ourselves
Yeah.
in different parts of the world about it.
Yes, yes. And
Then, Carine, why?
before that, I was talking about that charitable dispensaries. That was my idea, that is to promote homeopathy also, so that the people comes generally for the homeopathy or the other than this allopathy medicines. Whenever the patient has to go and he has to pay from his pocket, if it is not controlled covered by the insurance companies. So sometimes people hesitate to go there, and sometimes their mind is that whether homeopathy will work or not, because there is some notion in the homeopathy that it works slowly, so
I
it
see.
will work, take more time, but it is not slow. That was my main idea. Until I started this in 2009, these charitable dispensaries, and I have the record where I have treated more than 12,000 patients.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, wow. Oh, so do you mind if we speak to that just for a moment, in terms of what types of ailments?
all
Maybe.
type of ailments, from
Wow,
acute to chronic.
amazing, amazing. Carine, question at all at this point for jumping in? And
No, I do want to add, I think one of the issues we have now, just to add to what Guru was saying, is we've lost touch with our own bodies. So I do a lot of body work, and we've lost sort of that we have a lack of awareness, and we're not in tune with our own bodies. We're just disconnected. We're living this like life on autopilot. It's work, 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 feed the kids, do this, and then sleep, wake up the next morning, do the same thing. Distraction, 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 phone, 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 TV, TV, TV. And it's like we're completely lost our connection to our own body. Most people don't sit down and just close their eyes and ask themselves, you know, how am I feeling right now? How's my body feeling? Where is the pain? What am I experiencing? Right? And a lot of times in modern medicine, we treat the symptoms. And I love how Guru said, like, we'll see the inflammation. We'll go into the inflammation, and homeopathy will treat the inflammation, not just the symptoms, right? And similar to the work that I do, is everything is energy. Like, your emotions are stored in your body. They're stored in the cells of your body, right? So when you, for example, anger is stored in your kidney. So in your kidneys, you're storing anger. So if you grew up with a lot of anger and you have a lot of resentment towards people, you might have kidney issues. So what I would do is I would go in with the client, and we do these practices to release the anger from your kidney, and something like homeopathy or natural products would help support that, to help clear the anger from their kidneys, right? So there's always like a root cause. So these natural ways of healing go deep into the root cause of what's causing the issue, versus, oh, you have a headache, here's Tylenol, right? Here's a pill. Well, where's the headache coming from? What is it? Is it an inflammation? What's the inflammation caused by? Is it an emotion? Maybe you're stressed. Oh, anxiety. What's the anxiety caused by? And then we go into the root. So to tune into these emotions and see how it's impacting your physical body, and it's causing dis-ease in your body. So it's really going back to that root of connecting to yourself and listening to your body, being in tune to your body, which most of us don't do, unfortunately.
Yeah, for sure. No, Guru,
Well, right, Karen, as we are saying, in homeopathy, we give the most importance to the mind, mental symptoms.
the
And
mind.
yeah, the
Yeah.
foundation says that all diseases start first from the mind.
Could you speak to that some more, if you don't mind, Guru? Yeah, just expand upon that for anyone who just has a moment to tune in at this moment. Why is it? Why does it have to come from the mind?
Mind.
Yeah, yeah. Is a mind control?
Yeah, as generally we say, face is index of mind.
Yeah, yeah.
Our face tells.
Nice.
Even a little child, or even your pet dog, he understands your emotions, how you talk with him or her.
Mhm, mhm. So,
So when there is an anger in the mind, or there is some hallucination, or you can say that their emotions, they affect directly to the liver also.
yeah.
That is a direct connection. Yes, most time you must have observed that you are sitting on the dining table and you got some very good, happy news, very happy news that you got some lottery or your father or they got immigration like that. Or sometimes it's very sad news of sudden death or some accident. Immediately your hunger goes away. You don't feel appetite to eat.
Yeah, absolutely.
One moment before that you were hungry and you were going to have a good food and you were enjoying to see the food. Now that is food is the same and your eyes are not enjoying to see that food. All saliva has dried up.
The trigger of joy.
There is a direct link.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I like that. A
Even,
direct link.
yes, even if you are in anger mood or not in a happy mood, you are driving the car, you can do some accident. Most of the road, the cause of what you say generally, road rage, is it is previously there is some anger in the mind, and when you hit or somebody is teasing you, that anger come out from that. That anger doesn't come in instantly. The anger is growing in your body for the last so many hours or the days like that. You start, you have seen that whenever there's any fight, you start either you start bubbling because you are not getting those proper words at that time, or you will say those words which were in your mind before, that when I will meet that person, I will say this.
Yeah.
So that anger which is in your body, that is going to develop from high blood pressure to insomnia, even to the cancer. As you are saying, even I have seen some patients having development of kidney stones.
Yeah, I see.
So like that, mind is the main, because it is a controller. It controls all our organs.
I have a question. Why would it take so long? There are different methods for sure, but if this is 250 years old, why are people just awakening now to this homeopathy? Why is that? Why was that not tapped into before? It was a gentleman in Germany that I think founded a homeopathy. Yeah, in the 1700s, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But I was thinking, there had to be
You
something
know,
to compare to that in the world.
when this science, it was not accepted by the allopathic or the modern science or the old science. They generally say the modern is because they are changing every step, every years. You have seen that the time was there when they used to give the terramycin.
Terramycin, yeah.
It was very, and before that, even the today, even the penicillin they use. And then after 10 years, they say it is not good because it gives bad to the teeth also, taking of the teeth, and not good for the your joints.
Yeah, I see.
So that means for the 10 years you made them sick.
Yeah.
You are either you are not aware of it. If you are aware of it, then the next generation medicine comes. And generally you have seen that in allopathic medicine, when you get that tablets or whatever, there is a one page where it is said side effects.
Oh yeah.
And mostly the people, they doesn't care about that side effect. They want that quick fix.
Yeah, that's what Carine was saying as well. Yeah, for sure. Well, the quick fix instead of our society.
Well known that a person is having arthritis and he is taking the painkillers, after 2 or 3 years or 5 years, he is going to land up with some heart problem. The rheumatic problem, when it is controlled, that goes to the heart.
Yeah. So it's
yes.
Band-Aid?
Yeah, and still people are taking that medicine. They say, okay, at least I can walk. Heart will affect after 5 years, then we will see.
Yeah. Yes.
That is the ignorance of that.
Yeah. Carine, did you want to jump into yes as well?
Yeah, so I do want to add to that the emotion and the mind conversation we were having before, just some thoughts to add to what Guru was saying, is that, you know, simple emotions, I work on the energetic realm, right, a lot, and emotions are basically energy in motion. And everything is energy, your thought forms, the mind, and that's why the mind is so powerful and has kind of mastery over our body, because everything is energy. So if you're directing your thought forms, which are energy, into the negative realm, and you hold on to that stuff in your body, in your cells, that's what's causing dis-ease in your body, right? So a lot of people are holding on to these emotions and they're not releasing them. And then they're categorizing them as negative and positive emotions. There are no such things, right? There's no negative and positive emotions. Everything is just energy in motion. So when you're excited and you're happy and you're joyful and you got that good news at the dining room table, right? You're excited, you're showing the emotion. But when you're sad, and oftentimes what people will do is numb. I don't want to face this sadness. It's too painful. It's too much. It's negative. And they'll bottle it up and they'll bottle it up and then they'll bottle it up. And then it gets stuck and lodged in their subconscious and in their cells. And that's what's causing dis-ease in their body. This is how powerful the mind is, right? And one of the questions I often ask clients who have physical illnesses or have dis-ease in their body is, how is this illness serving you? There's always a subconscious reason as to why they're holding on to that illness in their body. Mm-hmm. So it's very interesting, because at first when I ask them that question, they're always triggered by it. They're like, there's no reason, it's not serving me, I want to get rid of it. And then I'll keep asking the question. They're like, oh, well, yeah, I get a lot of attention from my partner. I don't have to go to work. There's always, I don't know who, the big reason, the one I get so often is, I don't know who I am without this illness. It's like a part of to become part of my identity. So it's like they're almost holding on to that energy. They don't want to give it up. So it's very interesting, this whole like realm of like physical illness connected to your mind and your emotions. There's a huge correlation.
It's almost like you're putting a cork in something. You can't really go any further until you remove the cork in the bottle, you know, because it kind of, yeah. Guru?
Carine, you were talking about the energy. In homeopathy, as I have started from the physical, as I talked about the inflammation, that is the physical thing. Then we went to the mind. So how this mind and body is controlled? That is controlled by the energy. And in homeopathy, we say it is a vital force.
A vital host. Oh,
yes,
okay.
We say the vital force. So vital force is the main which control the whole things in our body. So you see, when a person dead, his mind is there, his brain is there, his heart is there, his all other organs are there, but he's not moving, he's not feeling anything, no pinching. So that is why these organs are not working, because there is no energy. That energy has gone away. Then we want to say the soul, mind, soul, and body.
It's very profound.
In other words, where they say, and we say that it is your vital force, which controls everything.
I love that.
So if there is no force, and now by the computer and all things, it has been now established that we all are having the force, and that is we have with the electricity, electric force. We have the negative and positive ends. All the nerves and the motor nerves and the sensory nerves, they take that immediate reaction of that. Just I pinch my tip of the finger, immediately I feel the pain. Or even if on your hair, when you are out, a small mosquito, he touches your hair, you feel that. How that signal goes. You see how typical our body is. So that is all through the energy. That energy, that is the vital force. So when there is no vital force, when we have the particular vital force, we are feeling everything. Even as I tell, a tiny mosquito sitting on your hair, that gives signal here that it is something here. But when you get dead, even 10 kilo weight is put on your leg, you will not react to that. Because that communication has gone away. There is no communication between mind and your body. That communication is your soul, and that is a vital force which takes care of you.
Carine, did you want to jump in?
Yeah, I love that. I love that vital force. And in the yogic tradition, we call that prana or chi,
Yes, prana.
right? So without that prana or that chi coming into your body, you don't have that vital force and vital life force to actually go on your day-to-day life, right? So a lot of people I see have, struggling with anxiety, mental health issues, depression. All of this is a lack of chi or lack of prana or vital force. I love that. I'm going to use that. Thank you so much, Guru. Vital force or life force that's coming into your body, nourishing your cells. We're not breathing properly.
Yeah.
How many of us, when we're stressed, we're anxious, we hold the breath, right? There's not enough prana coming into our body. As soon as you have anxiety, it means you're not breathing well enough. You're not bringing in that life force that's activating your body, right? Even like, drinking coffee or needing more sleep, like all of these things, it just means that you don't have enough vital life force coming into your body to activate and awaken you, right? So it's amazing. Yeah, it's once you learn, and I love like doing breath work and teaching breath work because it just changes your life completely. Your whole outlook on life changes. You start seeing things from a different perspective, right? You're nourishing your cells with this like positive life force that's just keeping you alive. It's making you thrive in life, not just survive, right?
As you said, the prana.
Prana,
You said that one prana comes and second will come or not.
yeah.
Okay, you can't have one
I
without
would
the
like
other.
that if you elaborate a little bit more about the pranas.
Yeah. Could you expand upon that for anyone who has not?
Elaborate more something on the pranas because it is very important for the health.
Yeah.
Pranas. Yeah.
So the vitals?
Breathing.
Okay, yeah, I know for sure. So then if we are a lot of adults walking around without being balanced,
Yes.
maybe we'll start there and I'll work our way backwards in the next segment, actually. If we can do that, that would be amazing. There's so much stress going on right now with, let's just say, for example,
Give me
COVID.
1 minute.
Yes, yeah, for
That's
sure.
about the pranas. It is said why we have two nostrils, left and right. So prana also goes by that. One comes from the one side, another goes from the other side. You see, this breathing, when we breathe and exhale, it goes from one nostril to other nostril. That's why we have two nostrils. Otherwise, only one would have worked.
It's prana apana, right? You're breathing in and you're exhaling. You're taking in and you're exhaling.
Okay.
So if you're constantly exhaling and you're giving, you're working, you're giving, you're not replenishing that life force and that prana in your body. It's like only one-sided. That's where the imbalance is.
Right.
If it's only on the exhale, you're only focusing on that exhale on the apana, like you're not bringing in enough of that life force and that vital force to be able to go on about your day in a positive way, right? In a balanced way. So yeah.
And when in the pranas, we have that friction that gives an automatic source of energy also.
Yeah.
Nutrition?
Automatic energy while doing the pranas because there is vibration, friction, and the friction produces energy.
Of course. It's almost like watering a flower or a plant.
Yeah, physics, chemistry, and biology. It's a combination. Our body is a combination of physics, chemistry, and biology.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And would you say it's creating a fluidity, I guess, of you as a person with that? Is that what you mean?
Fluidity?
Yeah, fluidity, so a flow, sort of.
Yeah.
Flow. Yeah.
That
cool.
flow.
And I feel like I'm associating it with watering a plant because I know I've done a teaching background as well. When I often would say to the children, keep your plant watered, kind of thing, because it really is. It's about staying replenished, right?
Yeah.
Keeping.
As you talk about the water, the whole universe is of 70% water, and we are not exception because water is the main source.
True.
You would have water, there's no life.
Yeah. So let's just say, for example, if you're not drinking enough water per day, how unbalanced will someone be if they don't keep themselves lubricated?
Yes,
Yeah. So other things fall into play, stomach problems, bones, or I don't know, dehydration.
yes, of course, of that. Because water, what water contains? That contains two H2O.
Mhm. And a lot of people are drinking pop
Hydrogen and
juice.
oxygen is the main thing by which we breathe.
Mhm.
So when we are hydrated, we have less oxygen. That's why we get unconsciousness.
Yeah.
We get headache. And sometimes we don't know about that we are getting dehydrated. Particularly, this has been proved that people who are working on the computer, they get dehydrated very easily. So that's why they have been advised that after 20 minutes, they must drink some water.
I see. Yeah. Hmm.
And I told people that if you have a headache, before taking any medicine, first you take a glass of water. Well, it is not that your Tylenol is giving you the benefit. It is the water which you have taken along with that tablet that has worked.
Mhm.
That's why some people they say that they get better by taking tea or coffee or any beverage because at that time their body is asking for the water.
Mhm. Yeah.
Dehydration is one of the main, as you were that creates lots of problem in us. Even your indigestion, you become indigest.
I seem to hear more people talking about indigestion problems these days. And I know our food chain has changed. We have a lot more chemicals in the foods, et cetera, et cetera. But I do hear that as a common complaint. Different age groups as well, like gluten intolerant, those kind of things. And I wondered if you could both, just from your own experiences, speak to that. And yeah.
Another thing is that people don't respect the food, I will say. They don't talk with their food. They don't have the time. They are working and taking. They have not seen how the food is. At least this is a thing which going to give you energy. And old old days, generally whenever we have the food, we generally say namaskar or we will. This food give me energy, and because that is for my energy. So one of that thing is when we don't give that proper time also to eating, we grab the food and immediately we try to finish it. Because as can I talk more?
Yes,
Yeah.
please. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much. It's
In
great.
our food, we have three items. Mostly one is carbohydrate, protein, and fat. And all these carbohydrates, they get digested when they are in our mouth because the saliva, there is a xylem, which is the only chemical, you can say that natural chemical in our mouth that digest, that break down the carbohydrates. And when those carbohydrates goes inside without touching or getting the proper treatment from the xylem, our stomach is not going to do anything with it.
Yeah. That
So
seems to be a complaint.
more than 70 to 80% digestion of the carbohydrate is by our saliva.
Interesting. Yeah.
That is the one reason that generally to the child, until unless he get teeth, we don't prescribe that he should take any that type of carbohydrate food
Mhm.
because his body will not digest it.
Mhm.
Because the xylem, it starts appearing or releasing at the age of 7 months. Not before 7 months, it is not released. You must have seen that before cutting the teeth, children generally start drooling, and that drooling and that inflammation, when as I said, and the gums are swollen, So small glands which are there, the pores, they come up, they open up. So that's why it is said that, as in the yoga, eat your food. We have 32 teeth and one should chew it, one bolus for 32 times.
That's right. Wow. Yeah, no, I could see that, and the value of
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So slowly, eat properly.
Yeah. And that you're speaking to being present with your food, being present with your food in that moment, appreciating the value of the food,
And
and that it's all part of the mind and everything
as
else.
we talk with the, you know, when you talk with your plants, they flowers come up with,
I do.
It's all energy, right? It's all energy. It's so important to like
I
to
have
bless
experienced.
food. Yeah.
In this winter, I
Energy
had
and
one plant which got withered because it got some cold. So I start talking with him and try to give him warm and give some homeopathic medicine also, of course. And I start talking with it, and then after a few days, it has come up with the new leaf.
oh, nice. I love
Yes.
that. Carine, you were going to say?
Yeah, so it is. It's very much from an energetic standpoint. It's you're sort of giving that intention to the food, right? So we can even like use any energy healing modality. Like you could Reiki your food if anybody has is familiar with Reiki, or you could just bless your food. Just close your eyes and just say, "May this food be blessed and with the highest nutrients for my body and whatever my body needs." And you're giving that food the nourishment and the nutrients it needs to nourish your own body. So it's very powerful. We forget to do that and to be mindful, because when you're mindfully eating, the food actually tastes better as well. When you're in that moment, just having that intimate relationship with your food and you're eating mindfully, and like Guru said, you're chewing your food, you're taking that time and you're not distracted. Not only does it nourish your body, it's easier on the digestive system, but it also tastes better. It's more enjoyable. It's more enjoyable. I challenge people listening to just take a piece of chocolate and instead of scarfing it down, just smell it first. Look at it, use your senses, right? Use your senses. And this is a mindfulness practice, right? Maybe touch the piece of chocolate, see how it feels. And I do this with my children, and it's a great activity you can do with an apple, a piece of chocolate, a raisin, whatever it is. Like, feel the texture, use all of your senses, your smell, take your time until you even take a bite into your apple or into your piece of chocolate. Keep it in your mouth. See what it does. Feel the saliva in your mouth. It's just having this like intimate relationship through your senses and an experience through your senses with that food that you're eating. It's a very, very, it's a very different experience than just going, just going to scarf it down and go on my day, Yeah, and your body senses that. Your body knows that.
Yeah, for sure. Then how would you, go ahead, Guru, you want to say?
As well about the taste, our tongue has a different portions where different type of things get tasted.
Yeah.
They all that spicy, your tip of the tongue, hot, your tip of the tongue can only recognize. And the sweet, your tip will never recognize the sweetness. If the sweetness will be touched by the next portion of that. We have different villi in our tongue. It is said that there are 5,000 taste bud in our, and they taste different. They get the different signals. So that's why you're saying when we talk with the food, our body get that signal that what type of food is going to come into the bucket, and then the stomach is just a carrier, and it has some acids which try to digest some food, and then it goes to the small intestine, then large intestine, where before that there is a different type of villi. Those are the responsible for the digestion and to get assimilation from that. Whatever the vitamins and the minerals they have to take and to supply to the different organs like muscles and even your nails, your hairs, different type of minerals, they are taken from that and then they are directly supplied to that area. Thus, particular, I will say that silica and the selenium, they are only for your nails and for your hair. So that immediately supplies to that area. So that's why your all other parts of the body, they don't get hardened.
Yeah.
Your eye sclera, that is white because of the presence of in the milk there is a calcium. So that is because of the whiteness of our sclera is because of the presence of the calcium. So that is supplied to that area.
And you said the milk?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you mind if I ask then? Because I've noticed the food chain, this is just my self-observation, sort of from, let's just say, late 90s onward, the chemicals in the milk in this part of the world,
Yes,
anyhow.
of course.
Oh my goodness. Oh my. Oh my. I remember just starting to taste it and to think, oh goodness, and really being turned off drinking chemical milk. And being mindful of needing to make that change, right? Because choice was being taken.
Yeah, it is very well said that what we are, what we eat.
Yeah. Yeah. We are what we eat. Yeah. Yes,
If
true.
we
So
are
I think,
eating the wrong food, that is, we are punishing ourselves.
yeah, for sure.
And
then
you have to listen to your body too. I think going back to that body awareness, there's so many diets and lifestyles out there. Like I became plant-based vegan a couple of years ago, but for me, I was a big meat eater. I used to drink milk, have the cheese, all of it organic. I was eating clean, but
yes.
I felt like intuitively it was wreaking havoc on my body. I had psoriasis, scalp psoriasis, I had eczema, I would get acne. So I just started completely changing my diet. I got rid of dairy, and then slowly got rid of mostly gluten and went plant-based. I cleared all of my skin issues. Within 6 months to a year, I had no problems whatsoever. So and I'm not saying that this is the diet that works for everybody, right? It's really important to listen to your body, become aware, right? Some people, like I love my lentils and my chickpeas, but for some people that causes intestinal issues and gas. So really listen to your body and see what feels good. Or nightshades. I have sensitivities to nightshades. I can't have a lot of tomatoes or tomato sauce because my body reacts, even though it's a healthy food according to the health world, it's not good for me. So you really have to listen to your body and honor that. Some people can handle dairy. Great. Good on them. I couldn't. So really honor what's right for your body and what feels good, and listen to the reactions that your body is producing, right? When you're eating something.
Thank you, Carine, for mentioning that.
Made our food poison. This is the greed.
That's what I'm thinking. That's the association. I think, oh, it's the naturalness has been taken away if we're going with the processed food, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I definitely
have
understood dairy.
that this inorganic food. Now again, we are coming to the natural things. It's good that at last we understood about this. But if you go just back, as I will say that not more than 50 or 60 years back, at that time people were getting all good food.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was no hybrid.
Yeah.
And at that time it started, they were advertising, or you can say promoting, that like if I would take the example of a cauliflower, by using this type of urea or the other fertilizer, you will get a very big flower.
Right.
And very white. Generally, that or organic cauliflower will be never white like milk. It will have some tinge, slightly tinge of greenish, and they are not so big like that. One, I have seen that at that time when I was small child, and they used to say, "See, this is 4 kg." And in a normal, it will be just a 1 kg or less than that.
Wow.
So to get the more crop, that is one of the reasons. Now it is totally mathematical. That
Yeah. So you mentioned advertising, I think, in there. So advertising has been the key for change and convenience for food. And if you look at the diet change and the health concerns of the population in different parts of the world, how it's changed since it's become, I guess I'll say Americanized food, if you will. And I have noticed that myself, and we've had discussions with that in terms of teaching international students in our classrooms, and how the cancer rates have increased where there was never any cancer rates before, but specific to food, perhaps. I wonder if you could both maybe speak to a little bit about that. I noticed it changing in the 70s when you sort of follow like TV dinners, television, convenience, you know, everything's fast, fast, fast. And it started changing if you look back and sort of even just study that, right? 70s onward, and then the diet, overweight came into play, people becoming overweight, heart disease, those kind of things with convenience food. Yeah. Oh, who wants to take that one?
And you want to say something?
Yeah, well, actually, a good example would be the University of Guelph did a study on soy diet. And that was when I was teaching international students. And our conversation in the classroom was, why was the breast cancer rate low for women in certain parts of Asia, as opposed to women in North America? The breast cancer rate was high in North America. And they looked at the diet, the soy diet at that time, and how that had a large part to play in it. And I wondered if you could maybe just speak to the irrigation of our food and how it can be irritants to us.
Right. When I was student of medical 50 years ago, in those books, it was written that the breast cancer is because mostly there is a blockage of the fat tissues, which generally at that time in the Western and in the American people, those ladies, they have started not to give milk to the children. They were not giving breastfeeding. And in Asia, there was very less cancer of breast cancer, because those ladies were giving feeding their children, and at that, so there was a clean flow of the fats because which come under the as a milk. So when you are not feeding your child the milk, the natural process, and you eat some type of medicine you have taken to dry up the milk, so where that will go? That dried up milk, those glands they have there, and that stagnation. That stagnated part, even the water stagnated get polluted and it starts fouling. So this is one of the reasons.
Yeah. Environmental, everything. Yeah, everything's changing.
And now, for the last 10 years, the WHO has really, I will say, they are doing some good work also to promoting that at least for 2 years, one should give milk to their children.
Nice.
Myself, I was fed on my mother's milk for 3 years.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. There's something to be said for that. Absolutely. For sure. And that's, yeah, a good example would be powder milk. You may be able to speak to this a little bit, Guru. You're probably familiar with America offering lots of powder milk to India at the time. Yes, yes. And I wonder if you have a moment to speak about that and how detrimental that can be.
No, see again, that is the greed. The people who have to sell that powder milk, how they will sell it? First, they have to say the previous process is not good, and at that time it was saying that this can be given anytime. If you have, but still, I will say that breast milk is anytime present. It's a ATM.
Yeah.
All time.
Nothing like it. Carine?
It's like most people don't know what they're eating. That's what I've noticed.
Right.
Most people don't know what they're eating. I'm that crazy mom at the grocery store looking at every single ingredient, and I'm trying to eat as close to nature as possible, right? But I've had, I thought this was common knowledge. Oh, people read ingredients. They know what they're eating. And I have a lot of clients and friends who are like, oh, ketchup is healthy. It's made from tomatoes. I'm like, do you know how much sugar is in ketchup? Do you have any idea how much white sugar, even if you get organic, it's still cane sugar. It's still sugar, right? So most people, like one of the things I can advise people to do is get informed. Know what is in your food and teach your children that too. I remember that one time where my kids were asking for a certain product because it had their favorite character on it. It had Paw Patrol on it. And it was like, they went crazy. They're like, oh my God, Mommy, Paw Patrol. Or Mommy, that honey is made out of, the bottle is made out of a bear. And I'm like, kids, let me teach you a little thing about marketing. This is what they're doing to fool you so that you can get addicted. So you can get addicted to the sugar so you can keep wanting it. And then I explained to them how this is dye, this is color. It's really bad on your organs. So now they know. We go into the grocery store, they never ask for anything with color. They're like, Mommy, that's color in it. I don't want it. Or Mommy, is there sugar in here? They'll ask me. My 5-year-old will ask me, Mommy, is there sugar in this? Is this healthy? So it's like, you can train your children, and you're going to be the example because I have to lead by example, but you can train your children to be in control of their own mind and in control of their own trance. Because there is mind control happening in the food industry. There is a lot of mind control happening in everywhere right now, obviously, not just the food industry, but mainly the food industry, right? The characters they put on it, the color. I worked in marketing. I have my background is 14 years of marketing and public relations and advertising. So I can speak from experience because I worked in the toy industry. So I know the way they used to design the packaging, the way the wording was said, right? Even like the word organic would be placed on there, but it was only like 30% organic, right? It's like they play with the mind, and it's, you have to be very in control of the information that you're ingesting and filtering, and you're making sure that, oh, this is not okay. I'm going to read the ingredients. Half of this, I don't understand what these chemicals are. If I can't read it properly, it's likely not good for me, you know? MSG, right? MSG, like there's so much, and sometimes MSG is hidden as spices. You won't even see MSG in the ingredient list. You'll see spices, and you're like, something's fishy. If you don't know that that's MSG, you'll buy it. It'll be like, oh, it's spices, it's healthy. You know,
and many people won't even know they're having reactions to those things because they don't know what they're even ingesting, right?
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
Well, that's interesting. I know in the second portion of our program, we'll be picking up maybe on the lifestyle choices and changes and the art of parenting. So this is really appropriate. I wonder if we had any closing comments for this first segment of our Spotlight on Community. Guru, anything before we wrap up the first segment?
I would like to comment that Carine, your children are very fortunate that they got mother like you who had taught them. I wish that every mother of the world, they should teach their children about the value of the food, and they should not live in the promotion and the advertising world. They should use their own mind also and to listen to their mom. I always say to even my grandchildren, listen to your mom and never trouble them. Because mom is the main pillar of the house.
Absolutely.
And she is the responsible for the society also. Because our home is the first unit of our society. If that first unit will be not good, the whole chain will be disturbed. This is the main thing here.
Love that
We
point,
don't
Guru.
have the time. Generally, everybody is working. That's why in the good old days, men were working and the ladies were homemaker.
It's different, changing society, right? Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
there is no homemaker. All are money maker.
Everyone's
Yeah,
working.
and I think, you know, it is about balance too, right?
Yes.
I'm a working mom, but I have my own business, but I find it's like about balance, and I love growing my own food.
So
One of the
that's why
things,
I said I appreciate and
yeah,
salute
it
to
has
you.
to be a balance. It has
Yes,
to be a balance, and you can do both, and you don't have to
you can
do it
do
all.
both. Yes.
You could do both, but you don't have to do it all because it is overwhelming. Because
Take the time.
especially mothers right now have so much pressure on them to not only make money, work, be there for their family and friends. On top of that, raise children. It's like, and maintain the household. Like there's a lot of pressure. So it is finding that kind of elusive balance of what's important for you, right? If your health and nutrition is important, for me, it is. You know, other things can, you know, I'll pay someone to clean my house, but for me, food and nutrition is like my priority, right? And that is like important for me. And I encourage people to also grow their own food. Like I love having a garden and just growing my own food and getting the kids in that, you know, connecting to the earth, connecting to Mother Earth, planting that seed, seeing it sprouted. My son didn't like leafy greens before we started planting them. And then because he grew them and he had his hand in it, he loves leafy greens now. He wants spinach from the garden. You know, it's plant with your kids, teach your kids the value of food, where your food comes from. And I think that's the one, you know, final advice I would give for this segment.
But
I
in
love
modern
that.
age, because of these pharmaceutical companies, they are trying that we should spend less on the grocery
Yeah.
than the more spending on the medicine, whether they are supplement or otherwise. Why to
Yeah.
take the vitamin C tablet? Why not to have a lemon?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, have
Sure.
a limit. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And your
It's
body, yeah, every years for the last I have seen 20 years, WHO is saying that all that tablets which you are taking from the like the vitamins, they are the garbage because your own body doesn't recognize it and it is not assimilated in the body.
Yeah.
You are just throwing your money in the
It's
garbage.
placebo. Kind of like
You
placebo?
understand the natural things.
I see. Yeah.
And
Oh,
20% of the people are having that vitaminosis disease.
what kind of disease, Guru?
Vitaminosis,
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
excess of vitamins.
Gotcha.
And that is not just because the tablet, they have the calcium and all that. That's why we are getting more cases of kidney stones or arthritis, spurs, heel spur,
Yeah.
because your body is collecting the calcium and more. It is that 73% people are suffering from the gallstones all over the world.
Wow. Well, you know, I think we are going to wrap up the first portion of Spotlight on Community, and we're going to invite our guests to join us for the second segment as well. We're going to be talking about the mind, body, and soul, and how we start that at the beginning of life, perhaps, and making change in our society and how we can do that. I want to thank our guests, Carine and Guru, for joining us as well for Spotlight on Community. And we're all about connecting, creating, and I'll tell you a little bit more about Moksha Canada. The purpose of the program is to raise awareness, find creative ways to address these issues that we're talking about, and really connect with the community and the well-being of us as a society. So that's what we're all about. Reach out to us on social media, Moksha Canada Foundation. Thank you for allowing us to be here today. My name is Lynn McEntee, and I've been your host for Spotlight on Community and Healthy Living and the Art of Parenting for segment 1. Bye, friends.
Thank you. Bye.